That was the day they learned a new military word. It's called overkill. And boy, did they earn the lesson. It wasn't a fair fight. 500 Russians attacked just 40 Americans. But you know what was fair? How it ended. All 40 Americans went home. Only a few of those Russians can say the same. It sounds fake. It is not fake. It happened in 2018 in Syria. It's got a real name and everything. The Battle of Kasham. A Russian group called Wagner had a plan. It was a stupid plan, but it was a plan. Who is Wagner? Ask Russia, and they'll say, "We have never heard of any Wagner." Russia is lying. For months, Wagner has been Russia's secret army in Syria. Officially, they don't exist. Unofficially, they do all of Russia's dirty work. They fight, they grab land, they get paid under the table. And when something goes wrong, Russia shrugs and says, "Never heard of them." And Russia's whole plan depends on pretending these guys don't exist. That's going to go so great for them later. Here was Wagner's deal that day. Go capture the oil fields, then keep them. In exchange, a cut of the profits. We're talking millions of dollars every single month, forever. One tiny thing. A U.S. Special Operations outpost sat right next door to those oil fields. About 40 Americans lived there. Marines, Green Berets, Delta guys. The kind of men who overthrow dictators before lunch. But Wagner didn't care. Wagner looked at the numbers. On their side, 500 fighters, 30 armored vehicles, real tanks, T-72s, mortars, artillery, big scary stuff. On the American side, 40 guys and a small desert fort. To Wagner, this looked like a cakewalk. Why so cocky? Because lately they'd been beating rebel groups twice their size. Sounds impressive. It was not. Those rebels were the tutorial level, and Wagner honestly believed beating the tutorial meant they were ready for the final boss. The final boss was named USA. So, 40 Americans? Please. We'll be done before midnight, they said. Spoiler alert. They were not done before midnight, but something was done to them. Now, fun fact about America. America hears everything. American spies had already recorded a secret phone call. The call was between Wagner, Syria, and Moscow. In that call, Wagner got the green light. Green light to attack the Americans. Russia knew, Syria knew, USA knew, everybody knew. Well, almost everybody. Because Russia had no idea America was listening. A few days before the attack, the Americans spotted troops building up nearby. Being the responsible adults in the room, they picked up the phone. They called Russian command. "Hey, there's a big force gathering right next to us. Are these your guys?" The Russian officer said, "Nope, no idea. We have no control over them." Remember, America already had the secret call recorded. So when Russia said, "Not ours," America knew that was complete nonsense. But they held back anyway. Surely nobody is dumb enough to attack an American military position, right? Wrong. So wrong. Dead wrong. See what I did there? Emphasis on dead. Anyway, that night, the Wagner column rolled toward the Conoco oil plant. 500 fighters, tanks grinding across the sand, mortars loaded, artillery ready to fire. Standing in their way, 40 Americans in a tiny outpost. On paper, this is a slaughter waiting to happen. But Wagner missed one teeny detail. Way up high, 25,000 feet, American MQ-9 Reaper drones had been watching every single vehicle. For hours, every tank, every truck, every guy who thought tonight was payday. America could see the whole picture. Wagner couldn't see anything. They thought they were sneaking up on a sleeping camp. Surprise! They're the ones being hunted. The Russians opened fire first. Mortars, tank shells, artillery rounds. Boom, boom, boom. Everything slammed into the area around the American base. A full-scale attack on a tiny fort. The soldiers jumped into their fighting holes and shot back. But let's be honest, small guns were not winning this one. The Americans needed the big toys. Good news, the big toys were already warming up. Here's where the story gets fun. Not for the Russians, never for the Russians. The moment the first shell landed near American soldiers, the Pentagon picked up a phone. The Secretary of Defense called his Russian counterpart directly. "Stop the attack." Russia answered, "We have no Russian forces in that area." The Americans said one word back. Understood. Oh no. That word did not mean okay, cool. That word meant, you just told us these aren't your men. And here's how this works. Soldiers who belong to somebody get warnings, phone calls, rescue missions, courtesy. But you just told the world these men belong to nobody. So no warning shot, no evac helicopters, no rules that help them, no medics coming to scrape anyone off the sand. America just left the courtesy business. Ooh. Think about what Russia just did. They lied. They disowned their own guys. That means the attackers have zero diplomatic protection. They're just hostile combatants shelling Americans. And America has very strong opinions about people who shell Americans. The order went out. Annihilate the attacking force. All platforms. All weapons. No restrictions. And boy, did America deliver. Within minutes, every US combat machine in the region spun up. F-22 Raptors, the best fighter jets on planet Earth. 15E Strike Eagles, less famous, but they're the bomb delivery guys. B-52 bombers. This plane is older than your grandpa. It has been ending careers since 1955, and it still ends careers today. When its bomb doors open, property values below drop to zero. Somewhere, an engineer built this plane out of pure anger. Honestly, respect. AC-130 gunship, a flying cannon that shoots sideways. AH-64 Apache helicopters. Each one carries 16 Hellfire missiles. 16. And the name Hellfire felt extremely accurate that night. MQ-9 Reaper drones. You can't see them. You can't hear them. You only learn drones exist when something next to you stops existing. All of it. Every single machine. Locked onto 500 guys with old Cold War tanks who thought tonight was easy money. The first jet rolled in hot, an F-15E Strike Eagle. A 500-pound JDAM bomb dropped off its wing. It fell through the sky. Impact. The lead T-72 tank disappeared. Just gone. The whole column froze. Then the second bomb landed. Then the third. Then everything landed at once. The sideways gunship banked into its circle of death. Its giant cannon went boom. An armored carrier stopped existing. Jets screamed past, over and over. Fireballs ripped through the formation. And here's the fun part. Trucks stuffed with ammunition started exploding all by themselves. Boom led to boom led to boom. Then the B-52 arrived. It dropped its load from 30,000 feet. Wagner never heard it, never saw it. They just watched a wall of fire half a mile wide erase the desert in front of them. The ground shook so hard grown men fell down. Now nobody moves forward. Nobody runs backward. They're trapped inside a box of death. The military has an actual name for that zone. A killbox. Tonight, that name wins the Accuracy Award. Apache helicopters came in low and fast. Hellfire missiles streaked across the dark sky. One missile per vehicle, one fireball per missile. The Apaches chased fleeing trucks across the open desert like it was a video game. And the mortars pounding the American base? Permanently quiet. Meanwhile, back inside the outpost, the 40 Americans never stopped fighting. All night. Nobody ran. Nobody hid. That's not in their job description. How do we know what happened next? Because America caught the radio calls. One fighter screamed, "They're hitting us from everywhere. The sky, the ground, it won't stop." Another voice, shaking, "There's nothing left here. Where do we go?" A commander tried to sound brave. "Push forward. Hold your positions." Nobody pushed forward. Everybody crawled. Everybody ran. Everybody prayed. One desperate man called Russian military headquarters directly. He begged for air support. He begged for reinforcements. He begged for anything. Silence. Dead. Empty silence. Remember, Russia said these men don't exist, and you cannot rescue ghosts. Wagner got hung out to dry by the very country that sent them. Want to hear the worst part? Russia could have helped. They had jets nearby, fueled and ready. They had heavy air defenses in the area. But their pilots looked up, saw the F-22s circling like sharks, and made a career decision. They chose breathing over flying. Smart boys. Those Raptors would have swatted them out of the sky mid-swear word. Russia's air defenses stayed cold too. Not because they were broken, because they knew they'd lose. Shooting at American jets would mean volunteering to join Wagner. And nobody wanted to join Wagner. Now here's a detail that shows what American soldiers are made of. After a while, the US pilots ran low on fuel and bombs. Standard procedure says, swap out with fresh crews. Go rest. The pilots refused. 40 of their buddies were still down there, still outnumbered. So they flew home, refueled, rearmed, and flew right back into the fight. No rest, no breaks, no shift change, no time for that. They were not leaving their boys down there with anything less than everything. That is the difference between an army and a mercenary club. One fights for each other, the other fights for oil money. Guess which one ended up crying in the desert? The pounding continued hour after hour. 4 straight hours of every weapon system America had in the region hammering 1 square mile of Syrian desert. By dawn, the battlefield was a nightmare. Sand turned into glass. Metal turned into soup. Burnt-out tank hulls sat inside smoking craters. Trucks looked like crushed soda cans. One soldier later said the place looked like the moon. That's rude to the moon. The moon never hurt anybody. After the dust settled, America called Russia one more time. Remember when you said you had no forces in the area? You were right. Now you really don't. Feel free to come pick up what's left, if you can find any. Russia said nothing. No apology, no statement, nothing. They never officially confirmed a single loss. They never admitted Wagner was even there. How many didn't come home? Good question. Nobody knows the exact number, because when you officially never existed, nobody counts your ghosts. The survivors just quietly limped home, and Russia pretended nothing happened. Since that night, Russia has not challenged US forces anywhere. Not once, not one time. Turns out there's a price for sending 500 men after 40 Americans, and that price is basically everything. That word from the beginning, overkill. Told you they earned the lesson. So what did we learn today? 1. Don't attack Americans. 2. If you do attack Americans, make sure somebody claims you afterward. 3. Oil money spends great until it catches fire. If you enjoyed watching 500 bad decisions meet consequences, hit subscribe. It's free, unlike Wagner's contract terms.